Welcome to a fresh episode of the Genuine ScLoHo Media and Marketing Podcast. My name is Scott Howard, also known as ScLoHo. So, what's a ScLoHo? It's a nickname that uses the first two letters of my first name, Scott, middle name, Lewis, and last name. So you get ScLO and HO and mash them together. ScLoHo began as an email address and then my online persona. And since 2017, it's been a podcast. This is an ongoing collection of media, marketing, and personal insights, and each episode is usually less than 10 minutes long. This is the audio reading of an article that you can read at my website. You can find that online at scotthoward.me. Altogether, I published over 1,700 articles. And I have a couple of free gifts for you, too, with no strings attached. The first one is early access to my Sound Advice newsletter. It's emailed nearly every week with the exception of holiday weeks, and there's a link in each email for more practical tips on the advice that I share. I also use this material in some of my podcast episodes, but that's not until a few weeks have passed since the free Sound Advice newsletter was sent out to people's email. The other gift is a complimentary problem-solving consultation. If you are in the Fort Wayne, Indiana metro or close by, it's best to do this in person. I can also do some Zoom meetings anywhere. Just drop me a note to scott@wowo.com. That's scott@wowo.com for either one of these offers. Now let's jump into this week's podcast episode, and this one is titled, If Your Advertising Worked Better, What Would Better Look Like? If your advertising worked better, what would better look like? That was the subject line from the Sound Advice newsletters the subscribers received last week, and it generated a ton of responses. So let's go through the whole thing here. Most business owners would like their advertising to work better. Fair enough. But what does better actually mean? Is it more phone calls? More website traffic? More people walking through the door? Maybe. But those are only the obvious answers. Better advertising might mean attracting customers who care more about quality than finding the lowest price. It might mean more repeat business, better name recognition, larger average sales, more people understanding everything that you offer, or fewer prospects asking, "Now, what exactly do you folks do?" For one business, better might mean keeping the schedule full during a slow season. For another, better might mean attracting more profitable work and a little less of the nickel and dime stuff that keeps everyone busy without making much money. For another, better advertising might make the sales process easier. Imagine if customers already knew more about the business, understood the value that you provide, and feel comfortable calling. The salesperson still has to do their job, but wouldn't it be nice if they didn't have to start from the bottom rung of the ladder every single time? That's why, is my advertising working, may not be the best question. A better question is, if your advertising worked better, what would better look like? Take a few moments and answer honestly, or add that question onto the agenda of your next manager's meeting. Would you attract more new customers, or would you like to attract better customers? Would people understand why you're different? Would you rely less on discounts? Would more customers think of you before they started searching randomly online? Would your advertising make selling easier for your team? Once you define what better looks like, you can create advertising designed to move your business in that direction. Because advertising shouldn't simply be making noise, generating a few clicks, or keeping your logo floating around town. Advertising has a job to do. And before you say yes to the next advertising proposal that lands on your desk or your inbox, you ought to know exactly what job your advertising is supposed to do. If you would like to see 5 better ways to Let me say it again. 5 ways that better advertising can improve your business. Reach out to me. Scott@wowo.com. Scott@wowo.com, and I'll send you some information. And if you'd like a free subscription to my Sound Advice newsletter, let me know about that too. just drop me a note. Or you can also find this article on my website, scotthoward.me. If you have any questions about advertising and marketing that you don't know who to ask, you can ask me. Email me, scott@WOWO.com. By the way, even though I'm recording this at the Federated Media Studios in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and I work for WOWO Radio, and this is being promoted by my employer, everything that I say or write is strictly my own thoughts and not necessarily the opinions of Federated Media or any of their affiliations and or advertisers. Feel free to drop me a note. Remember, my email address, scott@WOWO.com.
Podcasts by Federated Media.